Hi there, this is Kelly, and I'm coming to you with Fabulous Friday and some more of my fun beauty tips. And today you can see I'm braving it and I'm coming to you with zero makeup on my face. We could talk about some of my favorite makeup tips. And when I first got started in the beauty industry and was taking my makeup certifications and just learning more about makeup for myself, the first thing that I learned about was primers. And I have just become an addict to primers. So today we're going to talk about primers and why should you have a primer and what kind of primer should you use. First of all, people ask me all the time why a primer. And I want you to think about this. When you go to paint a wall, you put primer on the wall first before you put the paint because you want better coverage, you want it to last longer. So it's the same thing when you put a primer on your face. The way I kind of think about it is it's sort of like filling the potholes before you run the asphalt. So very important to pick the right primers. And sometimes you might want to pick a primer that has a color diffuser on it. So if you have a lot of redness through this area, you may want to put a green color on there to help diffuse that redness before you put your foundations on. And there's also primers for your eyes, for under your eyeshadow, primers for your lips, and even primers for your lashes. And we'll talk about those as the weeks go by. But today I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about my favorite primer. And of course, it's a beauty control primer. It's our natural primer. And this is good for every skin type. Everybody can be using this. And especially the older that we get, we want to make sure we're using a primer so we have a very flawless, beautiful, dewy airbrush sort of look about our face. This is also great for those of you who, are using a powder base because you want it to go on and make it look more natural and not cakey on the face. This feels like silk. It's just phenomenal on the skin. It's going to make everything so smooth, and you're just going to get an amazing coverage with it. Now, I'm a huge fan when it comes to foundations and primers of using a brush, a foundation brush, which is a real thin brush like this, or using sponges. And I'm a big fan of all different kinds of sponges. So we'll start with a sponge today to show you the application. You can use your fingers, but you get a better application when you use a sponge or a brush. So you just take the primer and you're going to put that right on the end of the sponge, and there's just a little bit on, just a little bit on the end there, about a pea size, and you're just going to tap it onto the skin. And then you're just going to take the sponge and blend all over the skin. You want to get across your lips, in all those little crooks and crannies, across the eyes, get the forehead. Sponges and brushes are great because we can kind of come in and blend into the hairline and along the jawline. And now that this is on and we've kind of covered the skin and we've primed the skin, we can now go to our foundation and it will just look perfect, like a porcelain doll. And that's what you want, is that very airbrushed professional look when you put your makeup on. Not like you painted a face, you just want to look like you've enhanced the beauty that you have. So that's my tip for this Friday, is using great primers and just adding to your fabulosity, making you even more beautiful than you are. So as I always tell you, be bold, be beautiful, be you, and have a fabulous Friday. We'll see you next week.